Hello, Jack.
Hey Barry, hey, how are you?
I'm fine. Hey, Jack, it's great to have you in this interview. Could you tell us your name and your job title at PG&E?
Yes, my name is Jack Liu, and at PG&E, my job title is a business finance principal analyst.
What does a day look like for you? A typical day?
Yeah, so a typical day, um, you know, we support the electric operation line of business, and we will work with our partners in electric to work on things like their budget, look at their recorded costs, understanding, why there's a variance, why there's a change. We also work with them on, because we're regulated, so we have a lot of what we call regulatory cases we have to file. So we work with them to make sure we put the rate cases together with the proper financial numbers. And then also, there's the part where on a monthly, quarterly basis, we have to make sure that our accounting books are correct. So if there's any errors, anything we need to adjust, we will work our accounting to get those numbers corrected. Yeah, so those are some of the main functions that we do in the business finance department.
What was your pathway from, say, high school into the company and then through the company positions to where you are today?
In high school, I grew up in the city, San Francisco, pretty much went to high school in the city. It was a small public high school. And I think, to be frank, in high school, I didn't really have any great aspirations of, hey, I got to do this growing up. I know people talk about it, but really, I think when I was young, and probably a lot of young people are like that, you're kind of you're not sure what you want to do. And I think it's okay because you're going to have time to explore and try different things. So in high school, I had a high level mindset of maybe I want to do something with math or engineering because, I was kind of influenced that way. Growing up Asian, you're taught to go into careers that will make a pretty stable job and pretty good income. So you're kind of steered toward engineering, accounting, those type of work, or thoughts, or doctors. Yeah. Then I went off to college. In college, I initially studied chemical engineering, and that's pretty different, right, from ultimately what I do now. And that didn't really pan out. It was really difficult, and to tell you the truth, I lost my focus for a little bit, right? And then I switched to finance and accounting, because I still do like numbers in some ways. And I thought finance was pretty interesting, and that kind of got me out of college. I interviewed, kind of different companies at the time, and then ultimately joined PG&E. With PG&E, actually, I did start in finance and accounting. So they hired me into a program for associates, which is, kind of like junior level, entry level, analyst. And that's totally cool with me, right? Because, I need to learn anyways. And they rotate us through every 6 months or so. They will rotate us to a different department. So we had a chance to kind of have an experience in various accounting, finance, and even risk departments. So that was really a good kind of a start for me. Which really, if you think about it, pretty much any company, any industry need those kind of folks. So it's a pretty kind of a big job market out there. And I think I'm talking to obviously a lot of you maybe in high school right now. Finance, accounting, or math, right? High school math may sound kind of boring or sound hard, but it can be interesting. It's also a core function of any company, right? So whether you have an interest in high tech, sciences, even the gaming industries, maybe you don't get there initially through hey, I'm going to be a game developer, right? But you can get into an industry you're interested in, maybe even through finance and accounting functions.
You attended San Francisco State, and you've got a bachelor's degree there. And did you go straight then into to earn your MBA, or did you take time off?
No, I worked. So I started working at PG&E, and then after about 3 or 4 years, that's when I decided to go back and study for a MBA, or what they call Master in Business Administration.
Right.
Yeah, that's when I went to Santa Clara. It's a part-time program, which a lot of MBA programs are. Yeah, kind of went to school either on the weekends or at night. Yeah, it's a good experience too.
So were you able to keep your job with PG&E while you earned your MBA?
Yes, because the MBA program is a part-time program,
Right.
and most MBA programs are designed to allow folks to work, full-time jobs. They understand, working professionals want to take it. So there's a lot of MBA programs for that.
What is something that happens in the finance department and in the work that you do that gives you great satisfaction when it's done? Do you know what I mean? What's a great day for your department?
I think finance. To me, I think people can think of it as, oh, you're just looking at numbers, or it can sound very boring and dry. It could be, right? But I find satisfaction when I'm helping my partners to either kind of solve a problem they have, right? And they have a question or whatnot, help them solve that solution. And I think the other part is also really kind of become a partner with them. So when they're setting their budgets, to be able to understand the business enough to actually kind of help them set the budget, ask the questions, right? Kind of even in a way, kind of push them like, hey, do we really need that money, right? Can we save here? Can we look at the program a little differently? So I think those are the moments where I feel like our finance team then really is more value add, instead of just kind of processing journal entries and doing your transactional type of work. Pushing on where we can get savings or trying to do things more efficiently. That gives me good satisfaction.
So outside of work, what kinds of interests and hobbies might you have?
I love sports, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you in high school probably do love sports also. One in particular is basketball. So in the last 18 years, I've been involved in a basketball league / ministry. It's faith-based, but we have games, and then we do fellowship with the players, get to know them, and over time really get to know a lot of them on a personal level. So I find that really fun, not just because of the games, but the chance to talk to them. So I miss that because of the pandemic.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's one of my main interests is sports, basketball in particular.
I see a picture back there. Is that your family? You say you have a wife and.
Yeah, have you seen that one? Yeah, that's my wife. My sister's on there too, and then my two girls, and then we also have a third boy recently. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. That's nice. Jack, tell us about sometime in your life when you had a challenge that you had to overcome, and how you overcame that.
Yeah, so I'll use my academic experience. Earlier I mentioned, right, I studied chemical engineering first, and it didn't pan out. But there's a little more to that, right? Basically, I started at UC Davis studying chemical engineering. I was doing okay the first few years, and then it got hard, and then also at the same time I lost focus, and that's a major that you cannot lose your focus and just coast by, right? That's chemical engineering or any engineering, those type of majors. Yeah. It's already hard enough just to kind of study and understand it. So I kind of got into a loop of where I'm not doing well, I'm not actually flunking out of classes, right, or having to retake them. And I just felt like I was stuck in this loop. It was really hard in terms of mentally, right, because I feel like I'm letting my parents down, letting my family down. Part of me also, like, I was kind of stubborn. I didn't want to change. But eventually it got to a point where it's like, okay, I know I'm not going to finish. And then at that time, I stopped going to Davis, right? And I was kind of lost. Part of me was thinking like, school is just not for me. And I wanted to maybe just start working, right? But, through my parents' support, they were really encouraging my family. They said, hey, it's okay if it didn't work out, but we really want to encourage you not to give up on college. That was kind of a hard part in terms of I was just kind of lost. I didn't really know what to do. But now looking back many years later, I want to see if I can use my experience and help other folks, especially younger folks, right? If you're in high school or if you're in college, you might go through similar parts where you feel like you're really struggling. You feel like you just want to give up. My advice is, don't give up. Maybe kind of reassess, take another look. Maybe what you're studying is not right for you, but I know there's a major out there for everybody, right? And also really just don't take the easy or the short way out. So I do want to encourage everyone to go to college and at least, if you can, get that college degree. That would be, really my advice. Because I went through, some ups and downs in college, and I struggled. I want to give up quite a few times. But, at the end, when I look back now, I do appreciate having a college degree because it opened a lot of doors. You don't have to be the greatest college student in the world, okay? But I've always thought, just get in there, get through it, do what you need to do, right? Come out with that college degree, and then the world's just going to really open up for you. There's been so many studies where they look at a college graduate and a high school graduate, and over their lifetimes, the income between those two people is such a huge gap.
Is there anybody in the world, living or dead, that you've treated as a role model, has served as a role model for you?
I think one of the person that's I think is really cool is Abraham Lincoln, right? Super famous, one of our top presidents in history. When I kind of read about his story, I know he went through a lot of adversity, whether it's losing one of his sons, his wife also kind of had a mental illness and breakdown, all while he's dealing with, the weight of the country and civil war on his shoulders. I think there were stories of saying that, he may have actually been depressed in some way. But, he was still able to kind of get through it all and do what he thinks the right thing to do, which is not easy at that time. Yeah. And he was also a man of faith. I've seen some of his writings, where he's relying on God and kind of praying, and that's part of my faith too. So I do admire Abraham Lincoln and what he did.
Thank you. That's perfect. That's great. Well, I want to thank you, Jack, for spending time with us, and I hope that you'll treat us to maybe a visit to one of our high school classrooms and tell us more about your experience with PG&E.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it'll be great to get to meet the young people of today, who's going to be the future owners of the next 20, 30 years.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to hook that up. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you again soon.
Okay, likewise, Barry. Thank you.
Okay.